it's Beauty Junkie. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a get ready with me style video with you. I am just putting on makeup that's a mix of old and new, and I'm going to be using products from all different brands. So we're going to get into it. Sometimes I like to just see how products play with each other, especially when I get things like a new primer. I want to try it with different kinds of foundations. So that's the goal for the video, is to mix old and new and see how they work together. I bought several things from Sephora, but also a couple new things from e.l.f. So I lied. I might use 2 products from e.l.f. But I have some Jones Road, Clé de Peau, Typology, my Surratt foundation, Huda Beauty, Wayne Goss, Dior, all that good stuff ready to go here. Hope you guys are doing well this summer. This summer feels more normal to me than the past 2 summers, of course, but also I'm not quite there yet. I'm not quite back to normal. I don't know if you guys feel the same way too. I don't have any kids, but I know probably a lot of you, August, your kids are probably going back to school or are already back in school, or some of you might not be starting up until September. By the time this video comes out, it's probably close to that time. I'm sure you wish the summers were longer, just like me. I do not like the heat, but I love the daylight, the extended hours. I love being able to just feel safer in my neighborhood, around town, walking around if there's light out. I don't know if that's a concern for you guys, but it is for me, especially where I live in kind of a busy area. I prefer daylight, even if it means things are going to be warmer. I'm going to put on this primer. This is, to me, a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip primer. This is the e.l.f. Power Grip primer, and it's a gel primer, and I don't think I've ever had a primer like this. Generally, I use my lotiony skincare-like primer from Victoria Beckham, but I thought I would mix things up a little bit, and I'm gonna try this with not a new foundation, a foundation that's older in my collection. This is the Surratt Dewdrop. I believe that's the name of it. This is shade number 3. It looks like this. Has this kind of squeezy tube applicator. I'm gonna throw this on to the glass palette. I just have been wanting to use this foundation for a while now. I definitely like to go through my collection and pull out makeup that I haven't used and kind of set it to the side and be like, okay, I'm gonna try to use this. So it says, you know, I'm supposed to wait 30 seconds before I put anything on my face, let that primer set a little bit. I went on vacation. I wore my mask a lot because you know, going in and out of public places, a lot of people around, I wore it inside, and I had so much mask knee that it's still lingering. Even a couple weeks later, it's just one of those things that just won't go away. I don't know what you guys do. Maybe you guys just stop wearing makeup if you have to wear a mask every day to work, but I mean, I like wearing makeup, you know? All right, so I'm gonna use my sponge here, my Real Techniques damp sponge. I'm gonna go into this foundation and see what this primer can do with it, because I have not tried the primer with like a traditional foundation like this. Something that's more medium coverage, not lightweight. I've discovered this year in particular, I don't love wearing like traditional foundations during the summer anymore. It's just not my style. Because I find that as the sweat and oil breaks through, in general, it just doesn't look as good, especially if I powder on top. It looks pretty bad. I forget how good this foundation is. It's just so easy. Sometimes these foundations honestly look, even though they should be more work, they end up not being more work than some of the lighter coverage foundations. because they just lay on the skin so well with a sponge for me. I don't know why. So today I was watching Tara Lynn. She was saying that the Dior Air Flash is being discontinued. Now I just decluttered my Air Flash because it was pretty old. It's one of those foundations I think a lot of people reserve for special occasions because it's on the higher price side. It is a little bit finicky with the spray applicator. Like, I don't spray it directly to my face, but it's kind of annoying. It does get everywhere when you do spray it like on a palette. Also, I do think, I don't know if there's alcohol in it. I don't know how great it is for everyone's skin, if everyone, you know, feels like they can wear it day in and day out. But it is one of those like go-to foundations for a lot of people that just gives perfected skin, like truly airbrush skin. So I'm disappointed that they're discontinuing it, but I looked online. I still see it on sale a lot of places. So if you love that foundation, stock up. I don't know when it's gonna be gone, but I'm sure a lot of people are gonna be thinking the same thing, like, oh, I gotta go pick that up. And even if you've never tried it before, I imagine that not a lot of companies are gonna be replacing that aerosol can just because it's not environmentally friendly to have a can like that. I'm sure the price would have to go up if they want to continue making it. So I would grab it. It is really good, but I don't know if not everyone like agrees with it or whatnot. But I think it's a fan favorite overall. Maybe not for every day, but for just that fresh, flawless skin. I like the amount of coverage I got. This is a really light, almost not quite medium. You guys can see my bumps still down here, so I'm gonna have to use some concealer. I didn't use a whole lot of this product, but I really like how it looks on the skin. I don't know, there's something about it that just, it's kind of magical. So that's an old product with a new one, and I think the combination looks great so far. So on to concealer. I've been going back to my Jones Road face pencil. This is shade 2. Since I've had it for a couple months now, it does seem to dry out, so sharpening does help make it warm up and make it a little bit creamier to work with. Otherwise, I'm having a little bit of trouble getting the product to come off on my skin a little bit. It was, I don't know, just kind of dried out on the surface. But I just kind of been loving using my finger to blend this out. It's just easy. There's not a lot of concealers that are just easy to blend with a finger. In my opinion, they're almost like too full coverage that if you use your finger, you just won't get a nice blend. But this guy is a little bit different. If you do too much under the eye or just go too hard, you will get some creasing, some product laying in those lines. But I just use a little bit and then I'll use a different product. So this is kind of my base. This is actually perfect for a lot of lighter complexion products. Something you don't want, like a full-on full coverage concealer with a light complexion. It's gonna look funny. So this is more of like just a light little base of concealer. I think it's kind of nice and it's quick. It's really quick, really simple. I'm gonna go over some of these areas down here. You know, you can totally use a brush or a sponge if you don't want to use your fingers. If you're acne prone, of course you want to wash your hands before you do this. If you want to be really cautious, don't use your hands to apply makeup, because that bacteria on the hands to your face, not always great. But yeah, overall I think that helps out quite a bit. Even though it doesn't seem like much of a concealer, sometimes you don't need a lot. I think I was gonna apply another concealer with this, the Clé de Peau Ivory. This is the Radiant Corrector for eyes. I think I'm okay though. I think I don't want to put too much under here in the hot weather. So we're sticking with this amount of coverage. My bronzer stick I've been using, the Rare Beauty Power Boost bronzer stick. Been loving this. I see that Merit Beauty is coming out with one, and I might pick it up if I remember to get it. Because that one just looks super dewy and glowy, at least in the promotional pictures. You never know what products are like in real life, but they just look like they have a gorgeous texture, so I'm really curious about those. This one definitely blends into a very powdery finish, which I like. I don't like it super tacky, but that Merit Beauty in those photos, it just looks so good, even though it's like a dewy bronzer. I don't know, there's something about it that really appeals to me, and I don't know, maybe it's just the marketing that's kind of getting me, who knows. But this certainly warms up the face quickly. I wouldn't say, especially you put powder on top of this, like a finishing powder, I wouldn't say it's like the strongest bronzed look, and it doesn't seem to totally last throughout the day, but it does give you a beautiful amount of color. Just a subtle hint, a little something something, so you don't totally feel pale. I like to add this in the summer, multiple layers of bronzer, sometimes cream and powder. It's just fun, it's just nice. I'm gonna use my Halo Glow from e.l.f. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter dupe. Did a video on this, and I've been using it the last couple days since I got it, and I would say this is almost a highlighter replacement, pretty much, especially when you just concentrate it on the cheekbones here. You don't really need anything else on top, especially if you're just going for a very natural daytime look. You're just going out the door. Just rub that on, gives you maybe a little bit of a blurring effect too. It's pretty nice, especially for $15. It's worth the price. All right, so I do have a highlighter though that I have been using as well. This is the Westman Atelier Peau de Rose, and this is a cream highlight that has quite a bit of gold glitter bits in it. I noticed the gold remnants on my face when the color kind of fades out, but that glitter remains. It's not a huge thick pieces of glitter, it's like micro glitter, but it definitely has some glitter gold in there. If that's not totally apparent, sometimes when you see sort of a glowy shimmery product, you don't think that there's going to be micro glitters in there, but there usually are. So it just depends on your comfort level with that. So that is on top of the Halo Glow. It adds a pink color to it, so I kind of like that about it. Moving on to cream blush, lots of creams today. This is the Typology Tinted Balm in Dusty Pink. This is one of those products that just, because of the packaging being shipped in France in the air, it just keeps coming out. It's like on a continuous squeeze, all by itself. Very annoying. A lot of people, I read in the reviews on the website, complained about that packaging, but yeah, I agree. It's pretty messy. This product is like a lip gloss for the cheeks. It's very goopy, but when you put it on the cheeks, it's not bad. It's very smooth. I would just say it doesn't give a huge amount of color. These kind of products, they look very natural, but to me, they're not going to last on your skin all day long. So just keep that in mind. You may need to reapply at some point to get more of that color to last, but it's very pretty, especially if you like glowy looks. All right. So I think I'm ready for powder. I have switched over to my Go Kendo Mafanchi Natural Lighting Powder. They don't really have shades in this. There's one shade. To be honest, it's a bit deep for me, but hey, it's summertime. I like that it has a glow. It's not super matte. I think a matte powder on fuller coverage foundation or even the medium coverage, and then when you sweat and it's hot, it can look not so great. So I just wanted something that wasn't as matte. So I've been using this guy. You guys can see the color here. It's not quite right for me, but that's okay. So I'm using a big fluffy brush here. This is the Refer 25. And taking big sweeping motions all over the face with it to set all these creams and foundations and such. Now you don't have to use any powder at all. It's up to you. You can put it at certain areas of the face. I just like to set the whole thing, but sometimes that does kind of take away from the glow of all those cream products. So I can see why you wouldn't. If you have drier skin, this not be a good option for you, but I just want things to last a little bit longer, especially the foundation, most importantly, just keeping that coverage maintained longer. Okay, so all the powders are on, eyebrows. I opened a new Tom Ford Fiber Brow Gel, and when these are new, they just put out so much product on the brush that my brows look so dark. And I just get such a heavy brow, so I feel like I need to wipe some of this product off before I go in when I open a new one of these. All right, so let's get more chatty. I know I've been talking a lot about makeup, but that always happens in my Get Ready With Me videos. I don't usually share too much of my private life, just because of my job. I don't want you guys to know that part of my life, but it is such a huge part of it. I mean, I don't have kids, I'm not married, I don't have a home, so there's only so much exciting stuff I can share. Maybe a little bit about my travels and vacations and stuff, and you know what I do on the weekends, but you know there's not like a whole lot of material for me to talk about, at least that I'm comfortable with. I know some people just reveal their whole life, the ups and downs. That's not really me, but you know, I understand that sharing that stuff makes me seem more real, more personable. So I try to share whatever tidbits I feel like sharing every once in a while. I will share that I've realized, you know, as things calm down at work, I have so much more free time and I'm a lot calmer and things don't bother me as much. Just in every aspect of my life, where it's friends, boyfriends, family, whatever it's going on, I just feel calmer when work is not stressing me out. And I feel like it's finally at a point in the year, like these 1 or 2 weeks, that I'm just like, chill. It's been really nice to finally feel that. I'm sure things will start ramping up again, probably the last week of August, September. So I have like one or two more weeks of this feeling probably, but it's been really good to just have time to clean my apartment, vacuum, take care of errands. You know, I have so many things I need to go donate. I want to talk about ThredUp. I know a lot of YouTubers talk about it because they have some sort of arrangement, but no, I don't have any arrangements. I don't do anything like that, but I have been purchasing ThredUp clothing and accessories and handbags and shoes for many years, many years. At one point, a large portion of my wardrobe was used clothing from ThredUp. They have been around for a while now. I would say I've slowed down on purchasing a lot from them because I noticed that a lot of the things I've been cleaning out of my closet and donating are from things I picked up from ThredUp, and I think that's a me problem because personally I don't like to return stuff. So if I realize, you know, when I get something that I ordered and it's not quite what I expected or doesn't fit right or whatever, it's too small, too large, or it just the material isn't what I expected, I don't usually return things. So I was ending up with a lot of clothes that I wasn't really loving. And so I wasn't ending up wearing them. And I had a closet full of stuff I didn't really love. So that is, I'm still have some parts of my closet that way, but I want to buy more things that I actually find really cute and fit me. And I feel like a lot of things I buy are more for practical purposes, like, oh, I really need shorts, I need jeans, I need dress pants, a blazer, but I'm buying them because I need to wear that stuff, not necessarily because, oh, I found the best shorts or they found the best blazer. It's like, well, I'll buy this, I love it, I don't necessarily like love it, but I think it will work and it's at a good price. That's generally how I buy clothes. And so I end up having a wardrobe that I'm not super happy with because I don't necessarily have tons of time or want to spend hours shopping all the time for the perfect stuff. And I feel like for me, that's what I need to do, especially I'm on the edge of being away from conventional sizing. Like, I'm fine as I've gained weight, I'm just finding it harder to fit into regular sizes. Like, it's hard to find brands that have a size 14 or, I usually am a 14 or 12, but I probably could fit into a 16 in some stuff. So being on the cusp there, it's tough. So that's the other thing. I do like vintage shopping, but most of the time when I look at vintage stores, their sizing is much smaller. Everything's just smaller. So it's just harder. You do find a good thing and then it's like, oh, it's a size small or extra small. It's like, well, that's not gonna work. So I've just been looking the internet for alternatives to ThredUp, but I have a ton of clothes and bags that I am going to try to sell on there because I've had pretty good success selling my stuff on ThredUp. Sometimes you do have to lower the prices a bit to get people to buy your things, but I've done pretty well. So I'm going to sell some stuff on there. I have like 3 bags full of things. It does take a long time for them to process your stuff. It takes months. So just remember that if you guys have questions about ThredUp and like selling stuff on there or even buying stuff, just remember when you buy stuff, really look at the picture, really look at the description and the condition. I've had pretty good luck with the condition of ThredUp, but I don't buy stuff if it says like there's stains on it. I just don't. It's not worth it. So I'm using the, I'm going for lips right now for some reason. I'm using the Huda Beauty, I haven't talked about this pencil in forever, Lip Contour 2.0 in Honey Beige. Not only like do I, not like to return things, but when I get them, the material, when you see something in person versus online, it is very different. And for me, I end up buying things online that look great in the picture, but when you look at the material, in person, it just doesn't look the same. And that is something I'm finding that makes in-person shopping superior, is looking at the quality of the garment in person. Makes a huge difference. I love ordering stuff online, but sometimes like clothing, to see if the fits, like usually I can tell if a top's gonna fit me. Dresses and pants are harder to find stuff online because if they don't have the measurements, it just says size large. I have no idea if it's gonna fit me. Likely, probably not. I do have, larger hip area, so that makes things tough. You can't just squeeze into things and just wear them all day comfortably if they're like super tight. So, the struggles of online shopping have created a problem for my closet for sure. So let's see, what lip color do I want to do? So I use that very matte lip liner, kind of an good for an ombre lip in my opinion. I'm gonna top it with a lip gloss. This is the Chanel Rouge Cocoa Gloss in 804. This is very pink, but it's very sheer. So I think anybody can wear it, and I think this goes well. I mean, we're kind of getting a 90s lip here with that brown liner. Maybe that's too much. All right, so going into eyeshadow, I'm gonna go into my Wayne Goss Luxury Eye Palette in Smoky Quartz. This did come out this year, and I've just been trying to incorporate it in more into my everyday looks, just because it's a mostly matte palette, and I think like this works for every day, like going to work, throwing some color on the eyes, making it a little bit smoky but not overly shimmery or glittery. I think it's actually a very work appropriate palette, except for maybe the glitter, if that's not your thing. Totally get that. But I'm just sweeping these two colors together, just getting a nice medium brown. And then to just jazz up the crease a bit, I'm taking this smoky shade here. It's slightly satin. It has this tiny bit of shimmery in there. Not even shimmery, it's like a slight sheen. And just popping this into that outer crease, mixing it all together. Just a little shadow. All right, so I want to do something a little softer towards the center, towards my nose. Okay, I'm gonna go outside this palette and actually go into Wayne Goss's bronzer palette. This is the light gold bronzer, and I'm gonna use this shade here, the shimmery bronzer, and just something really soft on the inner portion of the lid. To make things simple, I'm gonna do a highlighter, the highlighter I used on my cheekbones from Westman Atelier, and just apply this in the inner corner of the eye. I don't want something too stark white there. I want it just to like have a gradient lightness in that inner corner. So not too icy. I tend to really want to go icy in this area, but it doesn't always look super natural. So just some shine, something reflect, which I think is pretty. So this is a very almost monochrome look. Kind of digging it, even in the summer. Sometimes summer we like to really use colors, but this is really pretty. I am feeling like I want to do a finishing powder. This is the Dior All Day Matte Finish Perfecting Translucent Powder Blur Effect. It's been a minute since I've used it. It's not my favorite powder because I think there's too much moisture in here. But I'm gonna blur some areas in the center of my face. Now I don't want to go overboard because when the sweat comes through, sometimes these blur powders can start to look unflattering. So just in the middle there, that's it. I almost forgot I need to do mascara and eyeliner. All right, so an eyeliner I forgot about. This is the Sicily Fido Kohl Perfect Eyeliner in Deep Jungle, and I wish I really liked this, but the pencil of this is a little bit hard. I know it's you know, a sharpener pencil, a wood pencil, so these tend to be a little bit harder, but usually Kohl pencil, oh, I just broke that. Usually Kohl pencils are the actual part where you have color. This is a disaster video. Usually the Kohl part is soft, but this pencil, the Kohl part is stiff. So it just tugs on your eyelid a little bit. Don't love that. So I haven't been using this much, but I thought I'd pull it out because I probably should use it since this is what, like a $50 pencil, right? Gotta get some use out of it. Like the color just doesn't come off very easily, and I'm so used to my Victoria Beckham where it just easily, so much pigment. This is like the opposite of that. You just have to work a little bit harder for this guy, but I suppose it gives you more control. You can kind of layer up the intensity a bit better. All right, darken up that lash line with an alternative to black. So Deep Jungle is like a greenish brown, like a khaki with slight gold shimmer in it. And the mascara I got is from e.l.f. So I definitely have been using 3 products from e.l.f. This is a dark brown mascara and I'm kind of loving it. It's not the most precise applicator brush. The wand's a little thick, but I've been liking the way this makes my eyelashes look. Kind of false lash like, not super long, but the way it kind of clumps the lashes together, it makes things look better than some of my other mascaras that are a lot more money. It just kind of does something really pretty to the lashes. But this is the, sorry if I didn't mention it, the Big Mood mascara from e.l.f. It's like chrome purple. This is a really pretty natural look, like an everyday. I think what's really kicking this look off is the foundation and that highlighter in the inner corner. All right, this is the final look, you guys. I hope you guys had fun getting ready with me. What do you guys think of the final look? I mean, this is kind of like a very boring neutral look, but I kind of like the brown heavy lip liner. All right, guys, thanks for getting ready with me. If you like this video, click the thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.